into every one. If you're doing a planned gift, if you want to make a bequest, here's the language to use. It's a simple paragraph, and you can put that in your planned gift, your planned giving document, and that'll get the job done. What we do, because mentioned about having a bequest documented and kind of more cemented, we have what's called a memorandum of charitable intent. And we ask that person that's going to make a bequest, who has let us be known to us that that's in place, we've asked them to complete one of these. Just that it's still a revocable gift, but it kind of takes a little, makes it go from a capital R to a smaller R when it comes to revocable, and that's what we have as well. So if I can help you with that, we have those memorandum. You can copy those and change them to fit your purposes. So we'll take a break right now, and then we'll be back in 5 to 7 minutes for our panel. And again, I'll come around if you have questions. I sure would like to see them, and we'll ask those of our panel. So thank you. Some great questions, and what we'll do is we'll kind of move it around. We may have more than one person to answer it. Again, Dr. Seiler, of course, Lori's over at Stone Belt. Okay, everybody knows Lori. And Pam Davidson, everybody knows Pam's a planned giving expert, an attorney. Leslie is development director over at Boys and Girls Club. Sue Schindell's a great friend of many folks in the community, has a planned gift in place to benefit an agency, and so she bravely committed to come and and join us, and of course Brian. So kind of a diverse, outlook here in terms of these questions. So the first one, what have you found to be the most effective form of stewardship in order to maintain the relationship and commitment of donors? There was a second question, how about from the donor's perspective? So what I did on here, of course, say that she was going to be here. We're going to want to know what Sue thinks, what worked for her for keeping connected with her planned gift, and what the folks here feel is an effective form of stewardship. So I'll just open it up. Lori, do you have an idea as far as what you find are effective means of stewardship?
I'd like to actually start with recognizing that every donor is an individual, and so obviously what will work with one donor is in a planned giving and stewardship might not necessarily work for another, and it's a conversation that you have. I think that the Planned Giving Society really helps individuals recognize that you have something, and then they are able to see others that are doing it, and they would also like to be a part of that. I think showing them a little bit of special recognition, bringing them in and having individual conversations or a group conversation of what you're doing, where you're going. I think the future, they want to see where you're going, especially with their planned gift.
Great. Anyone else? Brian, how about
you? Yeah, I would agree. I mean, like I said in the presentation, the Giving Society helps, but you can't rely solely on that. You also, at least at our place, it's hard to, stay on top of everyone. But the more personal attention, the more excuses you can find just to meet with someone face to face, I think cannot be supplanted as the best way to.
I know we always had the mantra, you can't thank them enough.
Yes.
They can't be thanked enough.
Yeah.
Pam?
The Planned Gift Recognition Society is a little tricky because I have found in my career that no donor makes a planned gift to join your society. They make it because it works in their circumstances, and they may or may not even want the charity to know. In fact, the vast majority of those donors don't tell the charity, and it's all for the right reasons, though charities get very bothered by it. It's for the right reasons. In Hoosier Land, it's, I might have to use it, and then I haven't kept my promise. So it's really very good. And if you do a Planned Gift Recognition Society, I would say be a little cautious. When I worked at IU Foundation, we did it to go through a campaign to document. We had a darn good reason. We had 1,000 people say yes, so it looks like it's a huge success. If you have 10 people who say yes, is that a success or a failure? You really have to think, should I wait till I get 30 people, 50 people? You really have to think about that, because how does that look outside? Oh, only 10 people? Gee, And I would say Brian's right. Personal recognition. I used to read things in newspapers and cut it out and put it in. I thought of you when I read this, because that's what people want. Or a student came in and it was a journalism student, and boy, it made me think of your scholarship and da da da. I mean, manners pay off in buckets in this work, and it isn't buying things. It's like pay attention or comment or talk to me. That's really what propels
That's a great idea
it.
in terms of this. It's a story about a program, and you might thank them, say, this is the kind of thing that your generosity is going to realize and really appreciate it. Sue, how about in terms of the second part, from your perspective in terms of stewardship, what do you feel is important or really effective with you?
I think I am an anomaly. I like to, I enjoyed making my commitment to 2 different places, actually. And I liked being thanked, and then I wanted to be left alone.
See?
It feels disingenuous to me somehow. And, when something special comes up, I really appreciate knowing where some of that might go. But I said it.
Yeah, great. And that's why I asked her, because I knew she's a very thoughtful and outspoken young
Outspoken
lady,
is
so I
right.
appreciate it. The next, yes.
Can I just add to that?
Yes.
We find that a lot with our donors.
Yes.
They don't care about the recognition. They want to hear from the kids.
Right.
So we find really regularly just sending a letter from a child or a picture from a kid or something about what the kids are doing works for people. They
outcome.
they want to come and they want to pass out awards at the annual awards ceremony to the kids. They want to, in some way, they want to engage with the children about what's going on. They could care less about a giving society. We find that a lot actually with our donors, but you
Appreciate
still have to
it.
ask. So
Great.
that's typical for our donors too.
Tim, do you have any other comment?
Yeah.
Well, I would just say that Lori kicked it off the right way by saying each individual donor is a case unto herself. And then Pam's story about you try to have if you have the gift recognition society, you try to please everybody, right? But you won't please everybody with the same thing. And then hearing directly from, Sue. Hearing directly from Sue, I mean, that's what you want, right? You want to know what each donor wants or doesn't want. And we use in the fundraising school a lot, we use the phrase, it depends. And I think that's what we have here. I mean, it depends. So the best lesson in all this, I think, is you want to listen well.
So basically what you're all saying is donor-driven, and each donor is different in terms of what.
Yeah, and donor-driven. This is farmers market time, plug. But I used to stop on my way to Vincennes to see a donor always at a roadside stand to get a cantaloupe for her because it was so delightful. So it's something, the smallest thing. My colleague always took a book from the IU Press, and I said, they're de-accessioning. They're getting rid of stuff. I get that you love that, but they are not accumulating. And a cantaloupe is consumable, so.
Jack or
Hey,
melons, right?
Jack, what? McCullough sweet corn in this town.
Next question, it says, what seems to be the most effective wording to use to have a potential donor motivated to make the decision to give a planned gift? For example, the needs of the organization, is it the long-term benefits to the nonprofit, tax savings, their name on something, et cetera? Is there a most effective? Pam, did you?
Yeah, I'm going to start with this because I can have a cold conversation with anybody at this point. What I do, I think the group you talk to about playing gifts already love you. All right, that's kind of a done deal, okay? What they are desperate for is how do I do it and not hurt my kids, disinherit my kids, whatever. So I say to people, we have great ideas for assets if and when they don't work for you, and call us because we have super ideas. And so I don't really have to make the case. They are compelled by your case. But if they don't see how they can make that gift, and their advisor, sadly, has rarely said anything. Most advisors hardly say anything about your retirement plans being the most heavily taxed thing you can ever leave anybody other than your spouse. They don't even say it. So you don't even know you have a problem. So that's what that sounds so odd to be concrete. agree, but I would also suggest to all of you to initiate the conversation. Brian was spot on. Everybody is a prospect. And you can say to everybody, can we talk to you about ways to endow your annual support when you're no longer here? Can we talk to you about ways that your name will always be associated? Because a conversation is what you seek. A conversation,